Right, but it's Manchester United versus Chelsea. A game which doesn't really mean much to Manchester United. All the focus should be on the Europa League, which I think it is. Obviously, it's a huge game for Chelsea. This is obviously going to be the preview ahead of the game. They're fighting to get Champions League football. Manchester United are just fighting to just get points, road to 40 points at this point. Obviously, Chelsea are a decent side. We know what we're going to expect from them. It is going to be a very, very tricky game. In terms of Manchester United, as I said, in terms of injury news, no Euro, no De Ligt, no Aiden Heaven were in training. No Delo was in individual training, so I don't think these players are going to be back. Amorim did like a pre-match press conference for the Tottenham game, and he talked about how he expects Euro and De Ligt not to travel to Chelsea, but they could well be available. Delo's obviously said he's trying to be available for the game, but they will all be out of this game. I do expect a rotated side anyway, with a few players coming in, a few young players anyway. But yeah, listen, Euro's out, which is huge. Aiden Heaven's out, De Ligt's out, Dalot's out for this game, definitely anyway. Hopefully for the Europa League final, we can get a few of them back. Now, Toby Collier and Johnny Evans are in training. Now, in terms of this game, as I said, we will probably lose. Our form in the Premier League is horrendous. We're 16th. If we lose and Tottenham beat Villa, we will go down to 17th. I mean, the fact that we've played 36 games, 17 losses this season is very, very poor from Manchester United. Minus 11 goal difference. We are massively struggling. And I think Manchester United, even if Tottenham get a draw and United lose, they will go above us. I think we will lose the game, just to say it out there. Obviously, the main focus is the Europa League. Now, in terms of team that I'd go for this game, as I said, I would make wholesale changes. Obviously, there's no Euro in this game. If you look at the team that started against West Ham, Bayindir in goal, Mazraoui, Euro, Shaw, Amas, Bruno, Ugarte, Ahmad, Mainu, Mount, and Højlund. Now, this would be the team I'd go for. Will it be Bayindir in goal? Probably, but probably I'm not really bothered about the keeper. Just go Onana. Back three, obviously no Euro. I'm going to go Fredrickson, and I'm going to go with Lindelof. And listen, out of one of Mazraoui, Maguire and Shaw, it probably will be Mazraoui. In terms of wing backs, it'll probably be Dorgu on the right, Harry Amas on the left. I think Amas has obviously been getting the Premier League games, and then you'll probably see Dorgu and Ahmad for the Europa League final. But yeah, Amas and Dorgu as the wing backs. In midfield, I'll probably keep Ugarte and probably keep Bruno in there as well. Bruno will probably start. In terms of the 10s, it probably will be Garnacho, Kobbie Mainoo, and probably Højlund through the middle. I think that's the team that makes a lot of sense. I think there's a few rotations in there. Obviously, Euro's injured for this game. You take out Shaw, you rest him. Obviously, I don't think Mount will get a start. You take Ahmad out, you rest him. Ideally, you wouldn't want to start Mazraoui, but who else do you bring? You could see who was on the bench. I mean, Lindelof you want to start. You want to start Fredrickson. We don't really have anyone else unless you get a youngster in. But Heaven's out, Delo's out, Collier, De Ligt, Xerxes, like all these players are out. So we are quite thin on the ice. As I said, you could see like a Kukonki. But again, we'll have to wait and see what Amorim will do. But definitely Fredrickson you want to see start. Lindelof start. And you want to see some players get rested. As I said, in terms of Chelsea, we know the players they have. They got a good result against Liverpool the other week. They're a very, very good team. They're fighting Champions League, so it's actually a big game for them. I know they have the Conference League, but they can get into the Champions League via Premier League qualification or qualifying from finishing in the top four. Obviously, we've played them already this season. It was under Rude when we got that 1-1 draw. But listen, their last games, they're on some good form. They've only lost one of their last 5. Obviously, they got beaten against Newcastle, which was huge for them because that was a big game for Champions League. But they are on a pretty good streak, to be fair. They beat Fulham, Everton, Liverpool, obviously the Europa League team, the Conference League team that they beat as well. But yeah, they were an alright side. As I said, obviously, Jadon Sancho can't play, I don't think anyway, for them. But yeah, in terms of team needs, we've got no players really back. But yeah, listen, obviously Jackson, he's suspended for this game after he got a red card against Newcastle. But we know they've got good players. Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Lavia, Cole Palmer, Madueke, who can cause problems. To be honest, I don't really care if United get a win or a loss in this game. The Premier League is done. It's all focused on the Europa League. which hopefully we can get players like Euro, Dallo, who else, like an Aiden Heaven potentially, like get some players fit. But it's looking very unlikely at the moment. The main one for me, I know I want all of them back, but probably would be Lenny Euro. But yeah, listen, that's been the preview. In terms of predictions, listen, there'll be a lot of changes. You could see some debuts. It's going to be a tricky away game at Stamford Bridge. If you look at our head-to-head against Chelsea, obviously we got 1-0 with them at the start of the season. They beat us 4-3 last season where Cole Palmer scored a hat-trick. And then before that, last time at Stamford Bridge, we got a draw. So listen, it is a game that will probably end as a draw. As a hope, I think United will probably lose the game. So I'm going to go 2-1 loss for Manchester United. Listen, you don't want to predict the loss, but with the focus on being the Europa League, players like Maguire, you want Casemiro rested. You want players to be rested. So you don't. We've seen what happened when you started Euro. You started these sorts of players. The risk of bringing up an injury does go up. But let's see what happens. I do think United will lose, unfortunately. But I hope we can just get something from the game. Let me know your thoughts. This has been the Manchester United versus Chelsea preview. Peace.